Well, that's been a little bit of time, huh? Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this screen. Well, hey guys, my name is Ryan, and I'm back, finally, once again, with another Spirit Island video. So, when I left 6 months ago, it's been a while since I've opened this app. It's been more than 6 months since my last video. I had 928 subscribers, and now I'm on to 994. So, with a lot of hard work, by the way, of doing nothing, we basically have hit that 1,000 subscriber benchmark. And I know a lot of people like to make a really big deal. Obviously, 1,000 is a big number. It adds that fourth digit. It's very significant. It's also true that once you hit 1,000 subscribers, you can start to get monetized, assuming people actually watch your videos. There's another filter, so you can't just buy a bunch of bots and people watching your video or like subscribing but not watching your videos. But for any authentic YouTuber, that view requirement is really not a big deal, but that 1,000 subscribers is. So a lot of people get really excited about that as well. That's not why I'm coming back to make this video, but it is a very convenient coincidental timing. I'm coming back because I'm kind of getting to a point in my life very similar to how things were 6 months ago, or a little bit more than 6 months ago. You see, for me, gaming is one of those forever things where it is always present, it's always available, particularly when you own the physical copy of a board game. Once you own that game, it can never be taken away from you. It's not going to decay, it's not going to erode, and the game is always going to be as good as it ever has been. Even if like some newer, better thing comes out in the future, it doesn't make your old games less good. It just might make them less exciting by comparison. Now, Spirit Island is one of those games that's very deep, very complex, lots of fascinating systems where it's going to be extremely hard for another game to come out to really make Spirit Island irrelevant. But interestingly, over the past 6 months, some events have happened which I think could make that the case. If you've not been following the news, this was a while ago, but Greater Than Games has reduced its team in response to the tariff crisis. So I'm recording this in July 17th, actually, I think. So that means that this would be, yeah, it is July 17th. So this would be 3 months ago today, 1 quarter ago today, that in response to all of the Trump tariffs that was really big in the news 3 months ago, that Greater Than Games basically can't operate in the same way anymore. Pretty much all board games are manufactured in China. There's really no board games that are manufactured here in the United States. And so with all of the announced tariffs that were going to happen on China, every single board game would need to get its price massively jacked up in order to absorb those costs. The margins of board games is not nearly high enough for publishers such as Greater Than Games to absorb those costs and not pass those costs on to the consumer. Now, consumers such as you and me are very price sensitive people, and we are much less likely to buy a game if it is so much more expensive. So it creates this situation where it just doesn't make economic sense to make board games at all. And that's kind of the situation that GTG is in. Because it's just so economically unviable to make these games, they've basically stopped doing that. The way that I read this is that they've cut their staff down just to a minimum amount needed to sell off any existing stock they may have, and everything else is completely up in the air. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, right? Tariffs is one thing, and tariffs are bad. Just making things more expensive is generally just bad for the economy. But what's even worse is what did happen, which is tariffs were announced, tariffs were canceled, tariffs were re-announced, and then exceptions were created, and then those exceptions got canceled, and so on and so forth. And what's even worse than a price increase is the volatility of a price increase. You see, if the price just goes up and it just permanently stays up forever, it's a known quantity, and you can make business decisions based on that known quantity. Maybe Greater Than Games chooses to get back into publishing, and they can make games at a certain price point so long as they dramatically reduce the quality of their components. Or maybe they start making games with fewer components. Spirit Island is very famous for having a million little components. They might have to start getting to like card games or something where there's going to be a lot less stuff manufactured to bring down the price of manufacturing. Then after that gets bumped up because of the tariffs, then it comes into a price point where everyday consumers such as you and me are willing to make the purchase. But when the price is going up and going down and going up and going down because there is tariffs, there's not tariffs, and it's really volatile, well, that lack of predictability is bad for business. Businesses have to make purchases and make decisions based on projections of the future. And if the future is too muddy and too dark, then there is no future to project. So therefore, the best strategy is to do nothing at all. And I guess no matter how it plays out, we, the consumers, always lose. But, I don't know, hopefully things can sort themselves out. Now, I like to try and be as optimistic as possible, and my perspective is that Spirit Island's been around for a very long time. They were actually looking forward to their 10-year anniversary coming right around the corner. Spirit Island was originally published in 2017. But I think their 10-year anniversary, after we get past all this Trump bullshit, and as a side note, anyone who's not from the United States or people from the United States who didn't vote for him are all just getting hurt for something that they had nothing to do with. And that really, really sucks. There's a very small quantity of people that voted for Donald Trump, and an even smaller number of people that are board gamers that voted for Donald Trump. And yet everyone around the world is getting hurt by it. It really sucks. But in a couple years, hopefully we can get past all this bullshit. And I think the best way for Spirit Island to come back could be the second edition of Spirit Island. It's been one of these things that's been talked about just forever, kind of casually on the back end, called the H2E, or the hypothetical second edition. And the conversation's like, hey, you know, Spirit Island's a great game, but guess what? Nothing's perfect. What is some potential changes that we could make in order to make this great game go to the absolute stratosphere? And the types of changes that would be needed for this hypothetical second edition would be greater than like any small little, you know, page or line in the rule book, you know, maybe like the blight modification rule, things like that. It would need to be a massive, bigger, systematic change. And I think absurd disruption such as these tariffs could be the type of event that there's so much dramatic change. We get outside of that comfortable medium where, you know, it's good enough to just keep going. It is that inciting event that could create the ability to create a Spirit Island second edition and have it feel very smooth and natural. Be kind of like the phoenix coming back from the ashes. Maybe that's just me being really hopeful, being a little bit romantic, but I do see that as a potential future for this game. Now, if that does not come to fruition, we currently have a ton of spirits, we have a ton of adversaries, and of course the fan base that makes their own spirits, that makes their own adversaries, is massive as well. So there is already more Spirit Island content than any rational human being can play for the rest of their life. And for everything that you can't do, unrational human beings such as myself will close those gaps for you. But that all happened months ago. That's not the reason why I'm coming back today, but that is a really important thing that did happen. Why I'm coming back today is because I just quit my job. And no, I'm not going full-time YouTuber. I'm still pre-revenue. That would be bad. But board games, like I said, is one of those eternal things. It always kind of remains available to you. And at different times in your life, you're going to have more time for games. And at other times, you're going to have less time for games. And of course, we all enjoy playing board games. And the hope or the aspiration to play games, something to look forward to, can help you get through very, very busy times where you're not gaming as much as you would like to. Well, I was putting out a ton of videos. I was doing daily videos some 8-9 months ago is when I started doing all those daily videos, just gameplay every single day. And the reason why I did is because I was not working. And while I was looking for work, I took a project to myself that every single day I would want to record and put out a single video. It didn't have to be anything game-breaking or revolutionary. Every once in a while I threw in what I would call like a scripted video where I develop an idea, but for the most part it was just gameplay videos. A lot less effort required to make those. You just kind of just load up the game, just talk your mind, chop out the awkward bits in post-production, and put it up. It really doesn't take that much time at all. But for me, having a little project to accomplish every single day helped keep me consistent, helped keep me regular. I think it's really important when not working to still maintain that good schedule. Those hours that you had spent working can now be spent looking for a new job. Well, in my situation, I'm in with the electrical union, IBEW, and we have our own unemployment system where once you get off a job or once you lose your job for any reason, your choice or otherwise, you just hop on a list, and as other people get work, you work your way up the list, and then once you get high enough on the list, you can take a job yourself. And so that's what I did, and once I eventually got a job, I tried to keep making videos while still working, and it wound up just being too much. And I decided to just cut my losses. I felt like I wasn't putting a lot of effort into the videos, just kind of putting out slop. Before AI slop was really a thing. That's a low that we're never going to get to. But I was just putting out just like bulk content that didn't feel very inspired. So I just cut the cord, focused on my work. I had a great time. But I quit my job because I am moving across the country. And so you might see me post a little bit over the next week or so. But then there's going to be another pause as I move and I set up my life on the other side of the country. And depending on how quickly work picks up in the Washington, D.C. area, I might get right back to work and I'll be real quiet online. Or, hey, maybe I'll have a lot of time on my hands and you'll know because you're going to see a lot more of me in that situation. So for the next week, like I said, I'm going to be making a quick little video, probably not spending a lot of time on any videos over the course of the next week just because I have to, break down my house and sell off a whole bunch of things and, all the hazards that come with moving. And so I'll probably just put out some gameplay stuff, but after I move, I'll definitely have a lot more time to make more involved videos. And so I just kind of want to put out a question to you guys. What kind of videos would you like to see me make? Do you enjoy those gameplay videos? Do you want me to do a specific matchup? Is there any kind of idea that you'd like to hear me tease out? Any kind of broader concept in the game? Or maybe you want to see some spirit guides for a specific spirit. I did a series already covering all the adversaries, so I think I'm done with that. I could also do some scenario gameplay as well. Really, I'm just kind of making things that you guys want to see, so please let me know what would make you happy, and I'll do my best to deliver. Now, as far as today goes, I am going to do a little bit of Spirit Island. We're not just going to open this thing up and close it and call it a day. So we're going to have a little fun with a little gameplay video. It's been a little bit since I've played this game, so I'm going to pick a pretty easy matchup. But I do want to engage with some content that was not available 6 months ago, last time I opened this up. Yeah, we can go up to 6 boards, 6 spirits. That's crazy. That's too much for me today. We're going to do a 1 spirit game. And I think I am going to go for... we have all the adversaries now. I think I'm going to go for a dual adversary setup. And we're going to go for a France and Sweden game, and we're going to play Trickster. So, last time I made a video, Trickster was not available. Shifting Memory was not available. Starlight was just on the screen a second ago. They were not available either. Dual Adversary was not available. All the boards were, though. So yeah, we're going to do a France-Sweden duel matchup. I know Trickster individually has a good matchup against both. Like, both of them kind of struggle against Strife with the Slaves Rebellion and just kind of like the whole doing damage thing. I am definitely too far out of practice for a 6-6. Let's do something like... I mean, 5 isn't really a real rule. It's kind of a free point of difficulty there. Maybe the fear card's going to matter. Yeah, and we don't even remove Blight anyways. We get punished for that. So yeah, we're going to try and boost our difficulty here. But I know that this royal backing is going to like kick your ass if you're not ready for it. So I'm going to go a little soft on the Sweden side. Difficulty 12? Sure. That's a little higher than a clean 6. Although maybe it's a little bit less because, you know, that France 5 doesn't really count. All right. We can incite, impersonate to solve the 8. For the 3, we could like over-enthusiastic arson. Maybe we'll draft into a solution, such as drift down into slumber. Kind of hard to say no to a 0 cost on element defend, that air. We're going to need that air to do that. Let's see what happens. All of these can get me an air, actually. But yeah, let's just go with the 0 cost, clean answer. This might lose value over the course of the game because, you know, a nominal defend against Sweden, but we'll keep using it for now. And we'll do this. We'll kick this Dahan over. Go for the impersonate incite. And I'm thinking I might strike the town, kill the city, let the Dahan kill this, and see if this can sit around to die to the Slaves Rebellion. As far as let's see what happens goes, I really don't know the minor deck to the point of like exactly what the odds are of each thing working out optimally for you. So we're just going to do this. And it gets, what was that? Mez. So it's just isolated? Okay. Well, does nothing. It's as good as a whiff. Whatever. Okay, well, even though that this isn't going to sit around till Slaves Rebellion, we can still leave it here, and we can kick this Dahan down. So here we're going to add a presence up here, gain some energy, play the grip. No fire. Oh, we get a blight anyways. Oh, wait. Shit. That over-enthusiastic card wasn't supposed to go there. It's too late to change. So sad. And we can move this away from the disease. What the heck? Between target land and one other coastal land. So if I do this, it just kicks all my Dahan out. That's fascinating. I think this land's a goner anyways. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's just make all of our problems go in one land. And then here, just kind of centralizes our Dahan. Oh, fascinating. That isolates out the 6. That's wild. Okay, so we either get to add a beast here. We can kick a explore around. I think actually I want to like add a beast like way the heck out here. Just making any future beast events gain that much more value. This land's a goner. Let's put you out here. This land I might be able to like strife, copy strife. So let's just keep adding presence. I like to get up to this 2 energy point because you just can just gain more cards and just have more choices available to you. I also don't need to do anything with this land because of the Slaves Rebellion coming up. So, kind of get a free turn. We'll play this Impersonate for a slow strife that we'll pay to copy. But we don't need to incite. I guess we could like pay to copy over to like the 4 and then incite from this city over to everything else. And I'm gonna let's see what happens here. Maybe we use this drift down if it's like a partial defense or something. Could do that here. But I was originally planning on innating and copying it. So maybe that's just like a lot of stuff doing the same thing. Maybe it's because the elements don't even matter either. We could just... Oh no, shit, the elements do matter. I don't want to arson. Yeah, let's just do that. Cost 0, we can't play it next turn. But also, let's see what happens in the 4. But I really can't imagine us getting bailed out. So let's just go in the 7. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. But it might be fine to just replace the Unexpected Tigers with this. Wild and Badlands are both really strong in this matchup. This pay, copy, in case we get bonus damage from Explorers. Beast damage. Hey, let's go. Now this land's fully solved just with Slaves Rebellion. We don't even have to put effort into it. This has a bad land, so we're going to take the town kill whenever we have the opportunity. One of the funny things is that when you have a double adversary with France, your town count goes up based on the supporting adversary. So if we had gone for like Sweden 6, our town pool would actually go up. And so it gets harder because of Sweden 6, but it gets easier because of the town pool. So I don't know if it's easier or not, but it is interesting. We don't get the fear because we killed stuff off. Golly. We could even just push this. We could push this over here, just compress our issues one more step. Yeah, and we're not doing Sweden 5, so we don't get the town. Oh man, all things weaken. Well, that changes things. Well, now. So we do have to deal with this guy. I still think we impersonate, copy a strife over here, then we could just pick up 2 towns and an explorer. Just get 5 fear. Or we could do a line attacking the 3. Well, we are getting into France territory, so we do have to consider escalations. And we don't have a big blight pool. Maybe I let Slaves Rebellion... Yeah. I'm going to strike one of these. Slaves Rebellion. Pick up the other one. Okay. So now, interestingly, this over-enthusiastic arsenal really has nowhere to go. Blood Draws Predators is a fantastic card for us because we could target the one, Slayer's Rebellion, triggers it, kills off the Explorer, so that land is solved. It does give me triple fire, but that's so awkward here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. An Air from Reign of Blood would get me a let's see what happens. If we do this, we do... Maybe we make a Sacred Site here. We do this and this. I'm not sure it's... I think we actively don't want to play this card. We can't really use it. The elements don't matter, and this energy will allow us to reclaim. There's no towns on the... Oh, just kidding. Add a blight to a land adjacent to a building. Or sacrifice 2 presents. We're just going to sacrifice 2 presents. Because this was going to die anyways, so then we don't need the Sacred Site. Ooh, 2 damage to invaders. Really nice. Free city kill. Oh, that's a big deal. Then each invader takes 1 damage per strike that it has. Okay, so it's going to kill off an Explorer here, or an Explorer here, or a city here. A city here would get me another Fear card. Ooh, do we want to play it safe? I think not. Okay, no energy, but we do get more strife. No towns. Okay, cool. Oh, that's funny. That kills that off. Wow. What just happened? Hold on. I gotta go back. What? How did I... Whoa. Was that damaged? What did that last Fear card do? Oh, no. I want to go back. I want to see what that last Fear card did. We're going to have to come back and, like, post or something. Is there a way to see final game situation? Yeah, achievement. Whoop, whoop. Show details. Okay, we can see this. All right, events. Widening destruction. No, fear cards. Each invader takes a damage per strike that it has. So, okay, so, all right, here's what it was, right? So we had a city. City has 3 HP. It goes down to 2 HP because of the Blight card. Then it takes a damage from this Fear card. So now it's a 2 HP, 1 damage city. And then this says that it gets -1 health because of the strife. So now it becomes a 1 HP city with 1 damage on it. And therefore, it dies. And the Fear cards did a lot of work for us for a very, very lucky quick victory. Or all skill, baby. Well, hey, I'm happy with it. That's a nice little welcome back to the game moment for me. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy to be back. And I will see y'all in the next one.